Oh hi, it's Opie. Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. As we see, we have a new picture, which is Hanako. As you can see on the second tier there. I wonder how much of this whole title screen is going to get filled up with all the girls that we're going to see and interact with. But anyways, let us continue on, and we are at the chapter To Town, To Town. So let's continue. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my fist. Fist of Fury! My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottles of pills sits on my desk patiently, waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day, damn. Uh, Before I know it, I'm opening the door to class 3-3, glad to see I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from festival week. Every face in the classroom looks gaunt, with the festival now over, as if everyone's life dreams have been achieved. With nothing left to live for. What am I fighting for? The students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. Or maybe I'm just reading it too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realize why the room is so peaceful. The seats beside mine are blissfully empty. The world's largest interpreter for death has yet to arrive. Oh, just as I'm about to sit down, the door flies open, revealing a resplendent Misha. Drills bobbing from the dramatic entrance and arms stretched towards the sky. Yahoo! It's all over! It would appear that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. The rest of the class glare at her, obviously thinking the same thing I am. Misha's still frozen in the door with her arms still in the air and nervously looks around. It's obvious that she senses a foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly she jerks forward. Hey! Oh, her. As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals Shizune's arm is still extended from where she shoved Misha. Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes a few seconds to realize that she has to translate. Oh yeah, Shi-chan says she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy. Was that so? What about the stuff that I already did for you two? She says that only counts for council members. Since you declared she doesn't owe you anything. Michelle leans closer and whispers conspiratorially to my ear. Actually, I think she's just a little sore that you didn't spend the day with her. She's really thankful for your work last week, though. Sensing that she's being talked about, Shizune lightly wraps her fingers around her desk until Misha turns around to face her. I can't understand any of the fast-paced signing that's going on, but from Shizune's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While this exchange is happening, the door opens once again, but this time at a much more reasonable pace. Hanako, Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Our eyes meet, and she suddenly stiffens. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, and then walks over to my desk. Good morning, Isao. Morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you? I was talking to Lily about today. Ah, so you got her. So you've got her listed. Well, we can leave straight after classes in that case. Sure. I'm looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me and hurries off to her seat. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Muto simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbook and then sits behind his desk. I totally forget about the brief lunch period for a moment, such is the banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised when the bells signal the end of the lessons. As I'm packing up my bags, Shizune and Misha flank and entrap me. Say, John, it's still not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paperwork for us to complete. Sorry, Misha, I got plans. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me, holding a small bag and trying to avoid eye contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide, and then she bursts into laughing. Wahaha! You move fast, don't you, Hichan? We won't disturb your date any further. Wahaha! Behind the roaring Misha, I see Shizune taking two far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring me. I feel a gentle tug on my shirt and turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor. Let's. Gotcha, Suzune. Misha, I'll see you later. And I'm still not interested in the console. Spoiler sport. Ugh, get out of here. Misha and Suzune retreat into the hallway, happily signing into each other. Got all your stuff? Let's head off. Floods of students pour out of the school gates and onto the road into town. It's a little weird. It's almost a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because of the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody is alone. And as Hanako and I pass through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Not enough to be considered close, per se, but she certainly isn't at her usual, just a little far position. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily. However, even though she has moved a little closer to me physically, mentally she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutched around the leather straps of her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles, her head down and her mouth pursed closed. She almost like she's being walked to the principal's office for the first time. I try to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it's futile. What's the matter? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry, for a second there, it looked like you were getting in trouble. What do you mean? I, I think you need to relax a little. We're not going too far, and it's only students around, right? Right. And it bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. And you do this every week, don't you? Yes, with Lily. Of course, with Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? It doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how would she have managed to survive if the two had never met? Would she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it her lack of eyesight, or was Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? I wonder if anyone would have fit the bill. Well, I'm here. Besides, we're not going far. It'll be over before you know it. Hanako's knuckles slowly regain their color as she tries to hide a small smile, but the effort of that seems to prevent further conversion. We travel side by side, down the winding road towards the town. The crowd of the students thins as we continue along the sidewalk. Faster students rush ahead, and the less mobile ones fall behind, verifying the crowd into nothingness. By the time we reached the convenience store, we were practically alone. Using me as a shield between herself and the attendant, Hanako moves through the narrow aisles, adding an assortment of items to her basket. Bread, milk, tea, thyme? What kind of convenience store sells herbs? Then again, nothing about this town seems normal, which may not be such a bad thing in retrospect. Everything is so different and uncomfortable. Dwelling on such matters isn't really an option. When I think about that, it reminds me of Hanako. No matter how much you try, you can't escape her scars. They still interrupt my train of thought when I see them. As much as I don't want to admit it myself, I think I'm forcing myself to try to ignore them. Not that I'm scar free myself. The jagged line down my sternum will never completely fade away. I just have the luxury of being able to hide it easily. But in a way, both of our scars remind me that they were all in this place for a reason. Hanako throws one last item into her basket and sheepishly holds it out to me, along with a few banknotes. Could you, please? It takes me a second to understand what she's trying to say. Oh, you want me to pay for this? She nods, but doesn't look up. I guess this task falls into Lily on the usual occasion. Sure, let me just grab a couple of things. Hastily, I grab a few essential items for myself and head for the counter with Hanako in close tow. The attendant gives me an indifferent nod and he scans in the items. I suppose just ignoring us in one way to deal with the abnormities of Yamaku. They must get a lot of students here, being the closest store to the school. The staff must have all their own way of dealing with us. Or maybe they don't. Maybe it's only me who thinks twice about my unique schoolmates. Our transaction complete. Hanako and I head back out to the street. The road is pretty much abandoned now. The students that were heading out have already left, and nobody has started returning just yet. And with only the school ahead on the road, there doesn't seem to be anyone else around. The emptiness certainly reflects on Hanako, her arms and her by her sides, each carrying a bag, her head no longer bowed and back into the upright position. It's almost as if she were enjoying this walk. So, why all these weird things? Mixed spice? Why would you need that in school? I sometimes like to make food. Well, yeah, I do. So do I, but spices? That's a little more advanced, don't you think? Not really. Well, I think it's cool. You have to teach me one day. Sure. She doesn't seem all that sure, but pushing the point doesn't seem all that wise. At the very least, she seems a great deal happier than she did on the walk down here. That alone makes me a little happier. Outside the girls' dorm, Hanako and I sort out our grocery bags with our respective purchases. In comparison, my things look positively plain. I tell you, you're putting me to shame here. Well, no, I'm not. I'm only joking. I have a stack of homework that I skipped last week, so I must leave now. Will you be alright getting that into your room? Yeah. Sure? Okay. Okay then, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. We part ways and I return to my room. Piles of papers sit upon my desk, begging to be completed. With the entire ruckus of the last week, I barely had any time to catch up. I tried to keep up with my studies while I was in the hospital, but some of this stuff I've never seen before, even back in my old school. Totally unprepared, I pop the top of on a can of drink and get to work. That was a little heartwarming scene with Hanako, going shopping with her and all that. Very good. Mm, good coffee. The days are really starting to heat up. This morning I woke covered in sweat. By the time the student body starts leaving their dorms for breakfast and morning duties, the sun has taken full effect. Oddly, that puts me in high spirits. It's not even 8, yet I feel like this day is going to be one of those pleasant, tranquil, warm ones. If I weren't at a school that considered every absence from class as a sign of a life-threatening situation, I'd consider skipping the whole day and just relaxing in the school gardens. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. A genuinely lazy day. For a second, I stop in mid-stretch and consider the nurse's warning about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up those morning jogs. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace. Who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. It's not like I sit around all day and walk to and from the convenience store counts as exercise, right? Especially the walk back up the hill. Yeah, it's no big deal. Compared to the months lying in the hospital bed, I'm getting plenty exercise. It seems that I'm not alone in my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigor for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has even unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt and is fanning herself with a notebook. I must have been staring, as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. However, she shows no signs of halting her efforts, nor she is trying to hide the fact. The lunch bell seems to catch everyone by surprise, and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Hisao? Hey there, Hanako. What can I do for you for today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. Um, would you like to have lunch with us again? I I brought enough for everyone. Awesome. You don't have to be so stiff about it, though. Uh, right. I take it we're going to the tea room? Please. Lily says she'll meet us in there, so we should, should, should go ahead together. Hmm, sounds like a plan. This heat has made me pretty hungry. And right when I say that, some fucking telemarketer comes on. God fucking damn it. Get out of here. uh, Did I miss that line? I'm sorry. But anyways, Hanako breathes a sigh of relief as I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual din of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. Hanako slowly spreads her food on the table, which are legs, but sorry, intently focusing on every little movement as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she has prepared everything with utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid off the container of the rice. Here, let me help with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force to open the lid. Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. Mmm, let me guess. Did you put this in while the rice was still hot? Yes, I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. It looks like this is wedged shut. We'll need some hot water to get it open. But that could be a pain in here. We get water everywhere. Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? Aye, Lily-chan. At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Since you two had a change of plans because of me, I would bring a little something. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With a little guidance, Lily's bread assortment, Joey Tadako's rice-less platter, I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako is trying her hardest not to look like she is looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking for myself. Hmm, not bad. I guess this is made with the stuff you brought yesterday? Yes. Hanako's eyes shot out at me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it was clearly worth it. Thanks, Hanako. Did, I wanted you to show this. I wanted to show you this after yesterday. It's okay. I was just a little surprised at the stuff that you were buying. Hanako's always liked them to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good. Most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change of her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. And it's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on. What, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating after I said it was alright. Her cheeky grin tells me that this was a deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try to work out how to get one over her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good. And that's all that counts, right? We're right. Lily's, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as I watch her chopstick gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing to quickly ascertain the positions of the food as she dexterously picks it up. One might think that she were a child playing with her food is not, if not for the situation. Though she does it with such care and thoughtlessness that it's obvious this is simply that's how she eats this kind of animal. Meal. That's an animal. She eats this animal. Animal cruelty. Sorry about that. Uh, Not wanting to miss this out, I started feeling it myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before quickly snatching up her share. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still shut rice container. Thank you, Hanako. That was filling. No, thank you for the bread. Yes, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You're both welcome. But now I must be getting back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up in here and head off. Well then, good day. Lily leaves, her cane tapping away down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack up our things and stay seated, waiting for that bell. Together, we stare out the window into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn that time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I should have glanced at Hanako, who shows no signs of moving either. Not just yet. The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells passes in a blink of an eye. We, we, we really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs. You're right. Slowly she rises to her feet, and I follow suit. Silently we make our way up to the old stairs to the third floor and then into our classroom. Ugly picture again. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we were late, teacher. I am greeted not by stern words, nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply the silence created by 15 or so students trying not to laugh. Muto, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious. Make that about 14 students trying, and one student failing. The lovers return. Yeah, thanks. You can calm down now. I stepped through the door and realized that Hanako is firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from the class. With my steps coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiffly walks into her own. Her efforts to mentally block everyone's presence from her mind are written fairly clearly on her face. Quickly checking the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha. It's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. Oh, I yearn to stay and console her more, but Muto picks this exact moment to enter the class, halfway through its lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which, of course, is directionally proportional to the charge, but inversely proportionally to the square of the distance. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Muto's smile rambles on and my dog's barking in the background, Misha leans over to me. Sorry about the dogs. Uh, the teacher may not have been noticed your tardiness, but I did. Not much is obvious from the show you've just put on. I've been instructed to let you off for the hook for today, but only on one condition. Oh, and what would that be? And better not be fucking joining the damn student council because fuck that. You have to help us this afternoon. I crane my neck to look over at Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine. Just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council, remember? Of course. Doing so could be considered. Considered. She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for her place in her script. Uh, Under duress and hence would be against regulations. How very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now. They should be done by the book. It's just that the book can be written for any situation, so there are times when it can be ignored. And yet, you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her workbook, and we battled our way through the latter half of the school day. Before I could even stand up, Misha and Suzune have placed their hands on both of my shoulders. Hey, I said I help out. Damn. This is just insurance, Hisao. Insurance. Oh, this fucking music. Hisao. Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realize that this may be my one chance to escape. Oh, hey, Hanako, what's up? Hey, what makes you think you got time to chat? Oh, relax. This won't take long. Sonic Hanako, what were you saying? I was going to go to the library, and I thought... Hanako thumbs dance around each other, and her eyes fit around the room, looking everywhere but at us. Sorry, Hanako, but Hisa has to come with us. He has got work to do. Oh, but you can help too if you like. Um, so how about it, Hisa? Oh, jeez. I've done enough work for this council already. What do you think? What do you think, Hanako? Oh, man. It's like I didn't ask for this. Some bitch fucking got me trapped like this, man. I don't want this. It's like, fuck. Uh, I don't know. What should I do here? Have console. Oh, okay. So this is a actually this is an important decision because this depicts on good and good, neutral, and bad endings. So yeah. Um, if we so here's the thing: if we choose this here, we'll be on still on the path for good and neutral endings. If you choose the second one, which we will help the council, we are in bad ending territory, and yeah, if you choose this, you will go to you will be in the you will be in the path of the bad ending, no matter what you change after that. So this is bad. All right, let's create a new save state. So yeah, this is actually good. This is a good point because good branching point. But we're gonna stick for good endings first. Something tells me I wanted to show a bad ending first, but I was like, no. I like good things. Actually, actually, oh my god. It's like, wow, this is fucking. Should I? This is really bad, actually. Actually, maybe I should leave this in a fucking cliffhanger. Huh? Oh, people are gonna hate me for that, but I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So yeah, because the next part I'm gonna have my good friend John with me. So yeah, next time I'm gonna have to cut it here. Sorry about that, guys. That and the fact that fucking forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video that I am pressed for time today, so this was gonna be a very quick one, a sub 30 kind of thing. But again, I apologize. I will try to make it longer the next part as we continue this. Next time on Let's Play Katawa Shoujo, I will make my decision. Should we go for the good or neutral, or we go for the bad ending? See you guys then. Oh my god.